Now, this is just a simple old stock trailer. It's just a cheap stock trailer. It's not fancy, but it might represent what you might have. Or you're cowboying or you're working cattle, and many times you might lead them right up into a trailer like this. So like many times what I'll do, I'll take my horse in here and see there's a little loop right there. You don't even have to, you could use the upright post. You can just take a dolly around it like this, and then just take the lead rope and chuck it outside the trailer like that, okay? Step him up, see? Now what I do is I go outside the trailer. And tie it out there. I'll show you in a minute. So like, here's another thing I'm gonna show you, and it'll really save you from getting in trouble. So when you untie your horse, before I go, I call this little area right here, I call this the V of death. So you'll see so many people, they'll lead a horse up in here like this, and they'll have them tie clicker deals, or they'll come in here like this. I'll show you here. And they'll be tying it just like this. And they're tied there. And then when they go to let their horse out, their horse is anxious. They get home, they open up the door, and the horse is wanting to back out. They get right up in here and they're untying their horses. Well, what happens is the horse is starting to back up. He's backing up, and they can't get the knot untied fast enough. And what will happen is they'll either get their fingers pinched off in the knot, or the horse will hit it, and then they'll start doing this with their head. They'll bang their head on the roof, which is not good. But more important, the side of their head. If you've ever had your head hit by the bones in the side of a horse's head, it hurts. I almost got my neck broke. My old brood mare didn't tie well. I walked up here, I wasn't even thinking, and I went to untie her, and she's back, and I couldn't get her untied fast enough, and she goes to doing this, and I'm trapped, and her head's just almost broke my neck. And if they hit you, it's just a bad deal. So you see that quite a few people do that. So what I'll do, here's another way. So you run it through the loop like that. See, then you can go back here and you can tie it here, or you can tie it here. See how much safer it is to be tying it here, untying it here. But mostly what I do is I'll go like that, run it up through that loop, and then I'll just pitch it outside the trailer. And
so you do use the loop, or sometimes you use
you can. There's not a loop everywhere, see?
Yeah.
But sometimes, I'll use this, and you can tie your horses. Loop it around here, tie them here. Loop it around there, tie it there, if that's what you want to do. And anyway.
Do you have any tips for when you're hauling multiple horses?
That's what I'm talking about, yeah. So you can bring them right up, Now, in a big long trailer like this, what happens is the horses up front, when you slant load them and you don't have a slant divider, it's an open stock like this, the front will kind of get, and then they'll all cram, the very, very back of the trailer gets jammed, and the horses just get pinched. Mm-hmm. So I'll show you in a minute what you can do to keep them horses bunched up so they don't, because you get down the road, they all kind of settle. Next thing you know, they're smashing the crap out of the very last horse. But I'll get a chain, and I'll show you what you can do if you just got a simple, like a logging chain or something. Okay. Now this is an example of, on the outside, what it looks like. You took a dolly around there and you just threw your slack out on the ground. Then you can come out here, and you don't even have to tie a knot. Watch this. You go like this. real simple. You go like this. You see? You just go around it like this. Just make it, you can exit like that. See? There is no way that's going to come undone. You can half hitch it, you can exit, it doesn't matter. But I promise you, no matter how hard that horse pulls, that's not going to come, it's not going to come undone. But see how easy this is to get undone. See?
Yeah.
And you don't even have to learn how to tie a knot. It's just not, it's just, you don't have to make a big deal out of it, you know.
Right.
You know, so you can go up here and you can exit. Just make an X, you know, and go under there like that. See? See, and it'll bind on itself. And then when you're unloading your horses, you know, you untie the last one, go like this, then you're free. And I'll go get a chain and I'll show you inside here in a minute. Sometimes you might have 8, 9, 10 horses in a big long trailer, and see how what'll happen, you load them in at a slant, but the next thing you know, they're all, after you get down about horse number 5 or 6, this horse is just smashed into the tailgate. So a way to keep horses pushed up there like that is, here's something that you can do, something most people have a chain laying around, like a logging chain or something. You can take this chain like this, you know, go around here like this, and if you're afraid of that chain, if you're afraid of that chain coming unhooked, you can tape it, or you can take this chain like this, and you can hook it up. Hook it to there, see? But the main thing is that on this part of the chain here, you just up there. There. You got up there. But let's just say, to keep him from, see how he wants to, there, see? So you can take this like this, put your stock trailer like this, just pull that right up like that, see? See how that goes like that? See how that works? Mm-hmm. And that, now they might get it, you want to make sure it's up high enough to where they don't get a leg over it. But even if they do get a leg over it, it's not going to cut them and tear them up. You might even, guy might even put it right up here. So I'll try that. You might play around with it a little bit, but that's might put it right up there like that. Careful you don't get kicked. See, you can do something like that, see? And then all you have to do is, you can go around here a time or two, or you know, go around there and then hook it. But see what I mean? That right there will keep a horse from swinging over here. That's if you got tons of horses in here.
So you would do that after horse number 4?
Yeah,
or?
like 3. I'd like put 3 horses in there, and I'd put that, or whatever.
Just to
you know,
keep
if
them.
you don't have the, like the fancy trailers as a slant load, you can take a chain like that, and it's not going to hurt them. You know, and if you was real worried about it, you could wrap that chain with vet wrap or whatever. Now here's an example of a horse he's tied. And see, in here, you can either untie him here. But see, I'll say, when you see that horse starting to back up and get you can get out of the way. But normally I would untie him from the outside. So here you are. Now You can come up here. Let's just say he goes to backing up and you can't stop him. And you bang his head. Let him, they'll run out of there, then just load him right back up again. That's how you fix a horse that unloads fast. Okay? Mm-hmm. And another thing, look at that side of the trailer, Steph. See, this side of the trailer's all kinds of little doodads and junk that you can hook a rope on. You know, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's people got hooks and latches. So you just got to be careful as you're loading your horse and unloading. You don't have a bunch of junk sticking out there where they can hook a rope on or hook a stirrup on, you know, because they'll break your rope strap, you know. So it's controversial. Some people, I think a horse, you need to learn how to lead him out or back him out. A lot of times, if I'm this close to the end, I'll just back him out. I just back him right out. You know, I just see how nice see how nice he backed right out of there. See, real quiet. See. Now, if he were to unload real fast, guess what I'd do? I'd load him right back up. And then I'd get to where I could half load him. So watch, here we go. And I don't ever cluck to back him up. Cluck means forward. That's your, okay, now watch here. See, look here. See how I just stopped him? See, sometimes they'll bang their head on the roof because they want to keep on going. But watch here. I didn't even pull on him. See, and he's thinking, he knows cluck means forward. It'll really get you in trouble clucking a horse to back him up. Because if a horse starts really going backwards, you really have no way of stopping him. So, let's just say I'm farther up in the trailer like this. Let's just say I'm way up here in the nose of this trailer. Way up here. You know, you're way up here in the nose. Now let's just say I want to turn my horse around. So watch here. Just gonna turn around, let him fight. Don't be nuts about it. Just see, there's nothing wrong with that either. See, your horse really needs to learn how to do both. Now watch when he comes out. Watch how nice he comes out of there. See, he just comes out of there. So if you noticed, he doesn't jump in, and he doesn't. So if you notice, he doesn't jump in, and he doesn't jump out. I'm not interested in it. People think that's so neat to see. You'll see a horse load in the front, and their back end hops up in the air. A lot of times when they'll hop up, they're like that. My big horse will you'll catch your horn sometimes on the roof of the trailer if it's a low trailer. So I don't want my horse hopping and in or out, because a lot of times when I had a horse just the other day, somebody else's horse, he jumped out and stepped on my spur and about broke my ankle. Pissed me off, you know. I said, God dadgummit. How did I fix it? I just loaded him up, and then he jumped out again. I just loaded him. Pretty soon he crawled out of that trailer. So watch him. Watch how he loads. There, see. See how he just steps in that trailer, see? He didn't hop in there. It's not like it's a great big... Now, one more thing I wanted to mention. Ooh. On cold days or cold mornings, a lot of times, before I back them out, I'll loosen up this rear cinch a little like this. I'll loosen it up a little, because on a cold day, and they got their back picked up, and this is too tight, and you go to backing them up, they'll hump up. It's called cinch binder, and they'll just bind up and they'll fall over. Okay, you can feel them wadding up. You can feel them, but it's pretty hot. He's pretty warmed up. It's not a big deal. But that is something. If you ride with the rear cinch, You know, most of the time I keep my rear cinch pulled up, you know, pulled up there. Like especially I'm going to work, it's going to look like that. But if it's cool out and he's just been saddled, about 7 out of 10 times, if you go backing them up with that rear cinch real tight, they'll just fall over. They just, and that goes for backing them up anywhere when they're cold, when you got a really tight cinch on them. They just bind up and fall over.
And we have another video series for specifically teaching your horse how to load in a trailer if they're green.
Yeah. But this is just showing you. This is just showing you. And sometimes you'll get horses that'll spin around and turn around in a trailer. They just want to be looking to the outside or to the back. Usually those kind of horses, I'll put them up in the corner and kind of. But another thing you can do is you can cross tie them in a trailer too. There's nothing wrong with that. You can tie them like this, and then have another one and put a clip on here, and it's cross tying them, and there he is. And they can't turn around like that either. And that's a good way, especially if you got a big stock trailer like this, and you got cattle in the front, and he's got a bad habit of turning around and poking his head out the back and looking like a dork. What you can do is you can just cross tie him. And pretty soon they'll get comfortable and then you won't have to cross tie. Anyway, all right guys, thanks for watching.